Can Ripple beat the SEC? When will Ripple present new arguments in its defense? How much will XRP cost after the trial ends? We will answer these questions in today's video. In the meantime, subscribe to the channel and we're getting started. Ripple's A22, David Schwartz, has become a Twitter star. In a tweet yesterday, the Ripple executive and XRP ledger creator made a comment about peeing in a pool, provoking the backlash. I was assured that as long as nobody is particularly close to you in a pool full of people, nobody would know that you did, Schwartz writes. I realize now that this only applies if you're in the pool. The crypto and XRP communities have reacted in force to the amusing tweet. A few Twitter users thought that the Ripple executive's comments may have some hidden meaning. As a consequence, efforts have been made to create ties to liquidity sources. Unfortunately, no such evident relationships seem to exist. It should be noted that, as previously stated, XRP ledger developers are now testing a native automated market maker, AM. Schwartz believes that the AM's qualities, such as the ability to provide single-side liquidity supply, distinguish it from other comparable products. Those who thought the joke amusing but could not see any deeper meaning uploaded tales and memes in response. Nonetheless, the tweet has received appreciation from an unexpected source, Cardano developer Charles Hoskinson. It's also worth noting that Hoskinson's relationship with the XRP community is strained. Notably, he has previously clashed with the community over statements he made about the alleged Ripple settlement date and comments he made concerning the relationship between officials at the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission and Ethereum. Hoskinson said in December that he would no longer be making remarks on the matter due to the toxic and petty attitude of the XRP community. Furthermore, he said that he had no qualms about terminating relations with the community since XRP had no technical or financial value. Ripple to David Schwartz and Bitcoin supporter Demester recently had a Twitter dispute over whether Ethereum, ETH, was preferable than Microsoft. Miss Thief's shares. Demester initiated the debate with a tweet on the Howey test, a legal criteria for establishing whether or not an investment is a security. Demester stated that ETH meets the Howey test because it is a pooled investment in which the profits are dependent on the efforts of others. I'm not sure I understand what you're saying, Schwartz remarked. You assert that ETH represents a joint financial investment in a joint venture. They acquired their ETH directly from ETH, you say? The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, lawsuit against Ripple Labs is not the only battle the company is currently fighting. In fact, there's a court case that has been under trial for a longer period of time. The class action lawsuit filed by XRP investors against Ripple Labs and CEO Brad Garlinghouse, which has been pending since November 2018. The case, which is being heard in the U.S. state of California, is led by lead plaintiff Bradley Sostek, with 3 lawsuits, Zakinoff, O'Connor, and Greenwald. Consolidated into one, the plaintiffs accuse Ripple of selling XRP as an unregistered security and seek damages for losses suffered from the sale and alleged promises by Ripple. In addition, the plaintiffs are asking the court to also classify XRP as a security. Attorney John E. Deaton, who is already involved with a respective amicus brief in the Ripple V's, SEX and Elbree V's, SEX cases, is now getting involved in this case as well. As prominent criminal defense attorney James Phelan writes in a series of tweets, Deaton is filing an amicus brief in Zakinoff V's, Ripple. Phelan writes that the proposed class would include XRP holders around the world, including the 75,890 holders in the SEC case who have joined Ripple's arguments and disagree with the plaintiffs in Zakinoff, saying that XRP is not a security. Moreover, the proposed class action is not limited to direct sales by Ripple, but extends to all sales of XRP, including secondary sales and international sales in countries where the token has already been classified as not a security. Deaton argues in his motion that the court should not certify the class because of these conflicts and because there are only a small number of holders who claim that Sharpie is an unregistered security, while vastly more token holders worldwide claim that it is not. Just added to our document library, order granting John Dayton-owned admission pro hacks, vice representing XRP holders in U.S. District Court for Northern District of K in Ripple Labs into litigation. Link to order. Fred Rispoli, also an attorney from the community, commented on Deaton's move with applause, saying, "Being familiar with class actions, the class certification battle is the most important fight in these types of cases. John coming in here in this capacity is a real kick in the balls tot." Plaintiff's counsel, and I don't disagree with John, but the ball kick cannot be overstated. For his part, Deaton commented on Filan's announcement on Twitter, saying, "Whether it's the SEC's or a plaintiff's attorney making the absurd argument that secondary market transactions of a token are also securities simply it may have been previously offered or sold in a way that violated Section 5 of the Securities Act, I'll see you in court." The cryptocurrency industry is keenly awaiting the conclusion of the Ripple v. Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) legal case. The case has important ramifications for how digital assets will be handled in the United States, which has piqued the public's curiosity and spurred much conjecture. In light of this, the SEC has increased its regulatory control of the crypto sector in the last week, attracting significant criticism from certain industry players who allege that the agency's approach is biased. According to the most recent update, prominent Ripple and SEC case critic James Filan has once again called for the resignation of the regulator's head Gary Gensler. This follows the SEC's crackdown on staking while suing cryptocurrency startup Paxos over the issue of its Binance USD stablecoin. According to the regulator, the stablecoin is classed as a security and was issued in violation of the law. It is also worth mentioning that Ripple is being sued by the SEC for selling unregistered securities in the form of XRP tokens. In this sentence, John Deaton, the XRP holder's attorney in the SEC's action, deemed the securities designation deceptive. Gary Gensler and the SEC continue to concentrate on the token itself, labeling the overwhelming majority of cryptocurrencies as securities. The issue is that smart, important individuals, like Gensler, are spreading the misleading narrative that tokens are security. Deaton also praised Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong for declaring that staking services on the platform are not securities. Meanwhile, Deaton has joined another Ripple class action complaint in which investors accuse the business and its CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, of marketing XRP as an unregistered asset and demand monetary compensation for their losses. The plaintiffs have also demanded that XRP be classified as a security by the court. Deaton has filed an amicus brief in the case. The Ripple and SEC lawsuit is still being criticized, with Stuart Alderoty, Ripple's general counsel, calling it misguided. Similarly, Deaton characterized the SEC's reasoning as schizophrenics about the common enterprise concept. He further said that the court might deny summary judgment. Furthermore, although the eventual conclusion of the lawsuit is unknown, the crypto world has keenly watched the dispute between the SEC and the blockchain-based sharing platform Elbri. The SEC specifically sued Elbri for selling its LBC coins without first registering with the authority. However, the court determined that LBC tokens are only securities when sold directly. With the positive verdict for Elbri, there is a growing call for XRP to be relisted. Notably, XRP supporters have been pleading with Coinbase and Binance Us to reinstall the coin on their respective platform. The rise in momentum behind this effort begs the issue of whether it can persuade exchanges to relist XRP. However, there is still ambiguity surrounding the SEC's continuing case, and it remains to be seen if the agency would extend the litigation over the projected March 2023 deadline for a summary decision. Despite the legal ambiguity in the United States, Ripple has maintained its growing pace in other areas of the globe.